Hello there, and welcome to my channel. Today I have a very different video for you because this is something that essentially I do once in a while, but I probably have done it not so often. And this is talking with people, or a group of people or a single individual about a certain topic around War Thunder. So far I probably have done this two times with Drakinifel and also with Many Miles Away, and it is talking with, essentially a form of interview. And the little bit of a background was that a few weeks ago, or a few months ago actually, I was contacted by a group of people that had a project that they wanted to present to me, and I was interested. I looked into it, and I'm actually surprised about the level of detail and the amount of work being put into. It is, in fact, the Hungarian tech tree, and not just tanks and planes, but also ships and helicopters. And today we will start essentially with looking into the big picture. And I have together with me on Discord Hungarian Tanker 11. And let's start right away. Who are you people? What is the name of your group? And who are the team members?
Hello there, Napalm, and thank you for having us here. We just randomly started calling ourselves War Thunder Hungarian Tree Project, WTHT for short, and we are a group of history enthusiasts who always like to look at historical information about vehicles of warfare. Some of us have been members of previous projects and still are. We wanted to prove the perfect functionality of a Hungarian tree in War Thunder. Our core members are Felvidéki Magyar, Miltek FD, and me.
Okay, what is the origin story of your team up, and what is everyone responsible for? So, essentially, how are you guys organized?
Miltek FD and Felvidéki were ongoing members of such projects for years at the forums and over at WTCP or Thunder Community Projects. One day, Felvidéki had the idea to upgrade a fully Hungarian tree into presentable standards with necessary info and abundance of showcased possibilities. He immediately asked me to help, and I instantly joined. Soon, Milta, for short, was asked to help with his larger expertise in Soviet vehicles. Eventually, Andreas07 was asked to join us because he was a frequent collaborator with us in the past. Felvidéki is the leader, the main organizer of gathered info, and the spark that started it all. I am mostly responsible for communication, obscure research at funky websites, and cosmetic designs. Mirta is who we have mostly resembling an actual historian in some fields, and he is the driving force for decisions to be sensible and reasonable. Andreas is an additional historian we have who happens to be in possession of a lot of info. We also have a group of friendly foreigners who help research the imported and exported aspects of our military technology history. Carl the priest works with Arabic, French, and Spanish languages, the latter to little extent. Tony, the Spetsnaz, can help out with Swedish and with his contacts about 10 other languages. I also have two Hungarian friends who I have involved who actually don't have Discord accounts.
Okay, so how long has this tree project been in the works, and when did it become a serious project and not just be a interesting idea that you talk once in a while? So, when did it all become a serious project?
Well, it was born out of previous Hungarian and Hungarian involved tree projects, which some of us were part of, and they were going on for years, actually. I wasn't involved with any such specific groups. I was found by Felvidéki separately. But when we teamed up, we worked on our tree for about an additional 10 weeks. The combined period is anyone's guess.
Uh huh. About your research, what different sources did you manage to reach outside of your immediate group to gather information?
We've looked at funding records, historical sources from all around, previously uploaded tech magazines, obscure online forums, and all languages, among them even Russian and Croatian, Facebook groups, photo albums, and whatever we came across. We even planned to visit an industrial museum, but the current global situation was so far a denying factor for that possibility. We also tried to exchange mail with tank museums of Germany and Russia, but to no avail so far, probably because they are on a skeleton staff in these trying times.
So, what did you achieve? How would you describe your findings? Do you think it was a success?
We have achieved great things. We managed to present an astounding amount of possibilities which have a slightly higher than average performance potential for the game. Before I got involved, I found 36 vehicles, which turned out to be almost all known by the others, who were dealing with an approximate 46 at that time. Eventually, we almost doubled this amount, and approximately half of them were my luck of finding. And with our 10-week research period for the ground tree, we finally clocked in our first new public tree at 88 vehicles. And above that number, there were about 66 additional possibilities we looked at and still looking, of which 10 are still immediate additional possibilities to increase the numbers, and a little more with time given. To give context, as of now in 2020, in May, before the new big patch next week, the already in-game implemented War Thunder Nation ground vehicle numbers are 118 for Russia, 107 for Germany, 93 for America, 71 for Britain, 54 for France, 47 for Italy, 45 for Japan, 44 for China, and 39 for Sweden. So our initial 88 piece batch is a perfect amount to prove that Hungary is worthwhile.
So, why Hungary? What social, historical, and technological significance would you mention as good reasons to implement Hungary into War Thunder in the first place?
Well, Hungary is a surprising connection phenomena to some nations and historical relations for those not versed too deep in details. We have large connections to Germany, Austria, and Italy, small connections to the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia, Sweden, and Britain. We are the border between Central and Eastern Europe, so to speak. Not only did we have intermixed technology manufacturing with some mentioned nations, some of these products were only used by us. Astonishingly, we had Germans in our Hungarian army and Hungarians in the German army. We even had German soldiers of Germany on duty in the Hungarian army. Hungary was the fourth most prominent Axis nation of World War II and the last to produce any large amount of domestic fighting vehicles then. And then we, of course, imported tons of tech, most of which is different from what the game already has inside. And then, of course, we drowned into the Soviet Union and our production was demoted to modifications and lightly armored vehicles. In World War II BRs, we have a wide range of vehicle types to showcase. We even have Tigers and Panthers, which could become the least hated copy paste in the game. Our medium MBT column is unbroken from the start to present day. We have tons of premiums for Gaijin to profit from. Our nation is an excellent possibility to provide reinforcements for the Axis in World War II, for the Soviets in Cold War, and for the Westerners or NATO or however you want to call them in top tier, which we speak of simulated matches or historical matchmaking instances of realistic matches. Out of 88 vehicles, only 7 are outright normal run of the mill copy pastes. Our only weaknesses are not having any specific strictly top tier IFVs, and our top tier AA may prove to be disappointing, but these might just be temporary. There is also one good thing that comes from having many vehicles, which are just slightly modified versions of existing vehicles, and that is this country, Hungary, does not need to be a Christmas addition. It can be added in a different time to the game, like how China was.
Okay, so what faction allegiance would you advise for different origin specific vehicles in the matchmaking? Talking only about ground vehicles so far, what would this mean for the global matchmaking relations?
Our nation adds to the historical feel of World War II BR matches with its presence, likewise for the Soviet side in Cold War BR matches. And at top tier, we'll resemble Germany. We feel our addition to the game could bring forth a possible nice renaissance of the World War II era, temporarily focusing the attention there a little more if Gaijin sees potential in this possibility. This could mean new mechanics there, new add-on armor additions, and new period-specific vehicles.
So, a interesting question. Did you enjoy the research?
Absolutely. We awed at our findings and we had fun along the way.
So, why War Thunder? Why this project War Thunder and not, for example, World of Tanks or any other game?
Well, I cannot really speak in the name of the whole team, but I can mention my stance in this question. For me, War Thunder is the best existing example of simulator-ish uh, tank fighting game with the physics involved.
Okay, so rather at the end, finally, let's talk about the tech tree. And now I hope that you can see the Excel spreadsheet, and it is rather detailed. Can you go into the details? What is the color coding? What does it mean, etc., etc.?
In the upper second row, there you can see a legend. That row details the color coding and the exact numbers which are involved in those. Red would be the normal everyday copy pastes. Um, Blue are vehicles which are new to the game or slightly modified or not in their current state in the game. Um, Green would be the ones who are fully domestic or highly modified. And we have one captured and modified or different category with just one example. And there's two examples, but basically more like one example of a vehicle or vehicles which were almost fully built. Somehow like the Hori vehicles or the Sir Blindé, Sir Basset vehicles, or maybe the Horton. And the people who are viewing this interview video can see uh, the the tree itself is having quite a lot of vehicles in them, and well, that's it really.
Okay, so as I understand it, you're still working on it, but this would be a very good basis to build upon, especially if we compare it to some other nations and their introduction into War Thunder. So then, at the end, the question is, how do you plan to present this kind of project? to Gaijin so that they can have a look at it and actually are thinking about implementing it into the game.
Well, our main attention was focusing on this interview here we have with you, and this is my translation of saying a big thank you for you for this opportunity. Um, we hope that this interview video will spark interest and global community need for our tech tree to be well advocated for implementation. But of course, after by the time people will see this video, the War Thunder Community Project people will already have access to our newly created tech tree. And of course, either one of us or a different person will either make a separate forum post about our own War Thunder tech tree, or maybe if the forum rules wanted to have it in a different way, it can be added to already existing War Thunder Hungarian tech tree project suggestions in the forums.
Okay, that sounds good. So this was just now talking about the tanks. In the future, maybe if my community or the viewers of this video are interested, we can also talk about planes because there are also some very nice additions. You have already worked also on planes, the Navy, and helicopters, and also a lot of technical data. You have submitted a lot of very specific information, tables, and all the boring stuff, quote unquote, that is necessary to fill the tech tree with life and not just with names and symbols. So I think that's it with the interview today. Thank you for coming here and for the interview. And now the final part goes to the viewers of this video. If you are interested, let me know what you think about this project and this form of interview overall. Do you like this? Do you think that this is a good additional content? What do you think about the Hungarian tech tree idea itself? Do you think that one access nation more is something that the game needs? Since Gaijin does apparently the balancing in another department. And also, what do you think is the benefit for the game, or if this is a bad addition? As usual, let me know in the comment section down below. Not just me, but I think also Hungarian Tanky 11 is really interested in reading those comments and engaging with the community right there. As usual, the last thing I want to mention is you will find in the video description down below the link to the Discord, and if you want, feel free to join. That's it for me today at the end, and thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Please give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other on the waves, in the skies, and on the battlefields of War Thunder.